Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach. I'm so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. Super pumped you're here. It is March 20th, 2023. Ready to take it on 4910 as we're counting down episode 5,000. Having some fun here this morning, rocking and rolling. Got a lot happening, and I want to go over that as we get the week started this week. We're going to be getting into massive self-esteem, which is one of the most important things we can do. You know, March is our month of doing and getting after it again, and we're really looking at, you know, this self-understanding and strengths and weaknesses and building as we did last week, and we're going to continue that process this week, dealing with self-esteem. Just a couple quick notes. Wednesday, March 22nd, my favorite day. I'm going to be on YouTube live at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, giving away a really cool color ink, brand new color ink tablet. Would love to have you participate. Love to give it to a Morning Coach member. We'll be live 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, the 22nd. And then mark your calendar. I've been mentioning this. March 30th. At 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, again, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, kind of do these a lot at 3 p.m., is there's a Thursday meeting. This is the Morning Coach 5.0 launch. You already are able to get in there and see bits and parts of it, but we're going to be launching and discussing how it works, and I'll be answering questions. We live in our own meeting room, which is really cool. If you haven't had a chance to get in there, please send us an email, info@morningcoach.com. Make sure you have access to the live event room, and you'll see challenges and meetups in the upper left there. A lot of tutorials coming, but just FYI, you can come in and get and hang with us March 30th. That is only Morning Coach members. We're going to be going over everything we're doing, which is super cool. I mean, I can't wait for this 5.0 launch. Again, this week, what are we doing? Self-esteem. We were going to rock that today. Tomorrow, The Mountain is You, Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery, chapters 4 and 5. A lot of good stuff in this book so far. Wednesday, Understanding the Psychology of Validation and Why It Is Changing the World. This is an important one that I want you to listen to, really take it to heart, because it is one of the things, and again, might not be exactly for you, but understanding other people and why they're behaving the way they are. SJB Thursday, obviously, we're going to be rocking and rolling that. Some questions we've got coming in on a new site. I want to give you some ideas and things on there. Friday, learning to enjoy the material and also letting it go. Another good one when we talk about fulfillment on Friday. Saturday, building more self-esteem systems on our System Saturday. And then on Sunday, staying on top of your spiritual esteem. So we got a great one. We're having some fun, as you know, and as we start this week off, let's just remember self-love is the first love. And the thing we need to do to really get that self-esteem higher is self-care. And it's so important. I can't tell you how much it's changed my life, just focusing on me, you know, taking that time in the morning to meditate, you know, working with my coach, you know, watching the alcohol usage and really limiting that and focused in on me and my own mental health is so important. And then the physical side of it, actually lifting and working out again and feeling great, it really has helped me a lot in my self-esteem. It helps me handle those haters and those people that are out there that just are against kind of you being successful. I always say, you know, that quote I heard years ago was people want you to be successful, just not more successful than them, right? And so, you know, as you put stuff out there on social media, as I do, and you know, working on growing and putting new things out there, you know, it's hard to handle that stuff. So you got to really have that self-love first. You got to love yourself and really understand it's not a selfish thing. It's just love yourself, take care of yourself, and understand yourself. I mean, that self-talk that we talk about so much, if you really loved yourself, would you talk to yourself that way? I mean, would you talk to your kids the way that you talk to yourself? I mean, you're such an idiot. I mean, that's me on the golf course. Why do you do that, you dumbass? You know, I wouldn't tell anybody that. I wouldn't coach anybody that. So I had to really work on that, and I'm doing a better job with it, and it's reflected in all areas of my life. Even here, like the things that we're doing are getting so much better. I'm clear. I'm operating at a higher level. And it has to do with self-love and self-care, okay? That's the first one. The second thing I want to talk about is really important, and it's why I've been working so hard on trying to bring a place to bring people together, because there's a 1938 Harvard study from 85 years ago. And actually, John F. Kennedy was in the original study, which is crazy. But the idea was finding happiness and how do people find the joy in life. You know, how do they find longevity and joy? And so it's this longevity study that's been running since 1938, 85 years at Stanford. And like I said, one of the original participants was JFK. But the idea came out of this, and they're learning this, and there's, I think, 60-some people left out of the 750 that participated in this. And they found that the number one thing that people raised longevity and self-esteem and good energy in their lives and brought them happiness was positive relationships. Can you imagine that? Positive relation. It wasn't exercise. It wasn't fitness. How did they bring joy and energy and, and health and longevity? It was all about positive relationships. That's what they found. And so they talked about a few things, that there are a couple things that we need to look at with our relationships. And again, this is why, to me, community is so important. And I know I say it a lot, and I know everybody's busy, but that's why we built the new community. We've been trying Discord. We tried all these other things. But luckily, Kajabi has built one, which is great, or bought one, and now they're making it better, so everything's integrated. So finally, I think we finally have the right platform. We've tried, believe me, but we've, with all this in one area, it just makes it so much better. But there's some things I want to talk about here. Think about this. In your positive relationships, there are a few things that you need. You need safety and security. Who would you call? Who would you call, right? If you needed safety and security. How about learning and growth? Who would you go to? Who do you learn from? These are all part of your positive relationship ideas. How about emotional closeness? Do you have somebody that you can trust? How about affirmations and sharing and the positive things that you're doing? How about romantic intimacy? Do you have that? How about overall help, right? And then fun and relaxation. These are all key components of positive relationships, kind of social fitness that is going to allow you to have that happiness. And again, where am I getting this from? The research is from a 1938 Harvard study that is continued to this day on finding joy and happiness and that peace. And it really comes from that community or those social relationships that you build with other people. And that community is so important. And that's why our community is critical, and what we're doing with the Morning Coach 5.0 launch is the community within our structure, which we've never had. We've never had that. And I want you to have that ability to have safety and security there, that learning and growth that you get, that emotional closeness, those sharing, those affirmations, not romantic intimacy. Obviously, that can't happen. But the help and the fun and the relaxation is something that has been my dream to bring that together. Obviously, we do it at retreats, but to do that online is really special too. So there's an app and everything. And again, if you get a chance, spend some time over there. I know over the years we've changed, but we've been very slow and methodical in what we're doing and very committed to doing this. As you know, I've been working on it all last year to make sure it's the right fit, and we're ready to go. So excited about that. So that's an important part, positive relationships. So we have self-love, self-care, positive relationships, and finding those. Again, one of the reasons I put Morning Coach together was to bring people together that were like-minded, that had this great energy, and were making a difference in each other's lives. Be kind to yourself. This is another one. Being kind to yourself is very important when it comes to self-esteem. Again, self-love is the first love. We've mentioned that, but be kind. We talk about that self-talk. So it's like, don't beat yourself up. Sometimes you just need people around you that are helping you progress. Somebody's got to call you out, excuse my language, on your shit. I get it. Somebody does sometimes. They got to tell you when you're going the wrong direction. That's part of a great relationship. But you can't do it yourself all the time. I mean, many of us, I think, are the most critical, and we just beat ourselves up, and we need to focus on being kind to ourselves, okay? It's going to help our self-esteem. We need to start saying no more. And I know this is a challenging one. And the more I talk to people, the more busy they are, especially people that are really going after it. I understand how busy you are. But we really got to understand that sacred six principle. And one of the things that I'm doing in the new system, by the way, is to really define what Get It Done Now is, Sacred Six, personal podcasting, ILD. So you know where you fit within the framework. We're simplifying the whole process. It's so exciting. But you've got to use that sacred six principle of 6 projects. And you got to be able to say no. This is a hard thing. But if you keep saying yes, you're running yourself so thin and so ragged, and you're not getting anything done, which then it hurts you, right? And maybe you're getting a few things done, but you're still mentally overwhelmed. And overwhelm is not a good place to be. We need to slow it down. Remember the analogy that I use for those of us that are older is like you writing checks and you don't know what's in the bank. And it's really a very high stress thing until you get that checkbook organized. That's everything we're doing here, is to help you organize that checkbook so you feel like, okay, I'm in the right place. I'm doing the right things. I'm certain. I'm good. Are there going to be mistakes? Yes, but at least I don't have so many things going on that I have overwhelm. Okay, so start saying no more. That's a big part of this. Another thing we want to do is celebrate our wins and record them. Part of our journaling system, right? As I flip mine up here real quick, I got my notes in front of me. I'm going to go on my little device here and go into mine. And we've got a little 5-minute visualization before bed. And on the bottom of your calendar, there's this positive moments. That's a little section where you just write down some ideas of positivity. things that are going good for you. What are things that you are doing that are making a difference in your life? What did you do today? The thing is, when you start to calculate the wins and you start to calculate things at work and you review them at the end of the week, what happens is now all of a sudden you are starting to feel better about things that are happening, which is going to bring things in. And again, if you go on at the end of Sundays in your planner, there is actually wins of the week. Jennifer helped put this together. Thank you, Jennifer. This was amazing. But if you do your review at the end of the week, you're going to find that the last thing there is wins of the week. And so that's where you write it down. And the more wins that you see, the more times you're going to see more, you're going to get more wins in your life. And that's what's so important. Like, we want to find the positive. That's what we're about. Okay. A couple other things that we need to do to have self-esteem. Again, going back to self-love, is first off is staying healthy. Body, mind, and spirit. I always say when I'm in a lull and things aren't going the way they should, basically I'll step back and I'll refocus my energy into a health kick. So, for example, I'm 30 some days, no alcohol, and then, I'm doing really good with it, working out, was tracking my food, really on it, but then I kind of backslid from my systems. And we all do. We backslide from the fundamentals, all of us. It just happens, right? And that's why I'm here with you every single day. Because if you're going to backslide, I'm going to be here. We're going to make sure that we can get you back up and get going. And it's okay. You've got to allow yourself to be a human. You've got to be able to forgive yourself. That's being kind to yourself. I've got to realize that I'm going to make mistakes just as you will along the way. So systemically, too, within the system, you're going to make mistakes. Like, you can't always be on. It's like, as a speaker, people come to me and say, JB, you got to be on. I can't always be on. Why am I here in Indiana? Because I can get away and I can be off. Okay? I don't have to be on all the time. Being on means I got to have the energy. I got to be there to serve and to help and to put that support out there. And it's challenging to have that energy all the time. And I'm pretty good at it, but still, I got to be off sometimes. And that's what happens with this system stuff. Like, this is really bad that I'm telling this, but there's times when you're going to check out, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And so what we got to do is step back into the basics, into the fundamentals, and say, okay, I'm going to get back into my basics. I'm going to get on my health kick. I'm going to get back to it. And that's more important than if you're one that gets apathetic and just quits. And the most people, that's what they do. They get apathetic. Apathy to me is the worst thing. I can't stand apathy. People just giving up, and we can't give up. We got to be able to step up to the plate and realize we made some mistakes, things didn't work, and we got to get back to the basics. That's what we're talking about when it comes to staying healthy, okay? And it's just this idea of backslide, get back, backslide, get back. And if we focus on that, you are going to be able to get up and get things done. So I want you to be thinking about self-love this week. I really want you to feel that as we get into it this week. We're going to talk about some sabotage ideas tomorrow, some emotional intelligence ideas that will help you. But I want you to also think about your positive relationships. What do you have? Think about that Harvard study from, 85-year study that really is about community. It's about understanding that safety and security, that learning and growth. Obviously, we're here. You've got that covered. How about emotional closeness? Do you have people that you can let go with? How about affirmations and sharing? Do you have that? How about, help and fun and relaxation? And obviously, romantic intimacy is going to be with your personal relationship. But those are the things that we got to think about as we go through our day. Do we have the right community around us? And I could tell you, I know I scream from the top of my lungs about getting to retreats and getting around the right people. It will make a difference in your life. It can make all the difference in the world. But you've got to be willing to get out a little bit. And I know, look, I'm very introverted. This is something I don't want to do. But that's why I created the community for us, so that we have a place to go. And we've tried a bunch of different ones, and the technology just hasn't worked. But I really feel we've got a good place to connect now. Okay, a couple other things. Be kind to yourself. Start saying no. Dig into that sacred six and go, what are my projects? And making sure you're not spreading yourself too thin. And then get in the habit of celebrating some wins every week. You've got it in the planner. Write down those things that are going good and remind yourself consistently. If you start feeling negative, go back and look at those. That's a dopamine hit. I'm telling you, just like checking boxes, every time you look at your wins and you start recording them, you get a little dopamine hit, and that's going to help you kind of stay motivated and on track. And then, of course, stay healthy, body, mind, and spirit. These are critical things. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that, but I'm going to tell you that because repetition is what it's all about. And I just got to keep reminding you to be the best that you can be so you can live your best life. And that's what we're doing here on Morning Coach. Okay. So I love you. Hey, we're closed right now, just FYI. But if you have friends and family, I'm telling you, tell them to get on that launch list. When we get ready to open that up, they can go to morningcoach.com and just put in their email, and we'll let everybody know when we're opening up the new Morning Coach. But, oh, man, I'm so pumped. You can get in there now, obviously, and I just, I can't wait to just see what we're going to do in the world as we continue to evolve and just make the world a better place as we all live our best lives. Okay, so I love you. Go have a great one, and we're off to the book study tomorrow right here.